Every morning, you face a choice. You either surrender to doubt, distraction, and fear, or you rise with clarity, purpose, and power. What if, starting today, you could rewire your mind to focus, to grow, to win? Imagine walking through life unshaken, unstoppable, in total control of your destiny. This is your moment, your breakthrough, because the moment you master your mornings, you master your life. In just moments, you'll learn how speaking these powerful truths each morning rewires your mind and transforms your life. I am the master of my mind. Every morning before your feet touch the floor, remind yourself of a truth that separates those who win from those who wander. You are the master of your mind. Not your boss, not chance, not luck, you. Ever noticed how a man's entire day can be ruined by something as small as a spilled cup of coffee or a harsh word from another? But think, is it the event itself or his reaction to it that dictates the rest of his day? You know the answer. You weren't born with a mind to let it drift like a feather in the wind. You were born with a mind to direct, to command, and to shape the reality around you. You were given the same raw mental material as every titan who ever built an empire, wrote a masterpiece, or conquered the odds. But here's the pitfall. The average man spends his life letting his mind run him instead of running his mind. He fills it with worry, doubt, and regret, never realizing those thoughts grow roots, and soon enough his life mirrors the chaos he allows inside. Ask yourself this: if a farmer lets weeds grow wild, can he expect a good harvest? If a carpenter ignores his tools, will his table stand firm? Why then should you expect a rich, fulfilling life if you leave your mind untended? Now imagine what happens when you wake up and decide, today, my thoughts are mine to choose. Picture walking into your workplace, your shop, your school, not swayed by others' moods, not beaten by yesterday's mistakes. A man bumps into you rudely, you smile, move on, unaffected. A deal falls through, you adjust, recalibrate, because your mind is not chained to outcomes. But how does one truly command the mind? You start simple. The moment your eyes open, you affirm, I choose what I think. Then throughout the day, when negative thoughts creep, and they will, you pause and ask, does this serve me? If not, replace it. Say instead, I am capable, I am resilient, I am focused. Think back to great men of history. Do you believe they spent their days indulging in fear? Or did they discipline their minds like a horse, breaking its wild nature until it obeyed? You know the answer. So the question is, will you rise today as the master of your mind? Or will you hand over the reins to chance, to circumstance, to whatever passes your way? Remember, nothing external has power over you unless you grant it permission. Say it now, say it every morning. I am the master of my mind. And watch how life begins to align. Today, I choose definite purpose. Before the sun fully rises, before the sounds of footsteps and conversations begin to fill the air, there's one decision that quietly determines whether a man drifts aimlessly or strides boldly toward greatness. And it is this: today I choose definite purpose. Think about it. Look around. How many men wander through life like ships without rudders, blown by the winds of circumstance, tossed by every wave of distraction, uncertainty, or someone else's opinion? One day they say, I ought to do this. The next day they say, maybe I'll try that. And years pass. Nothing of substance is built. But purpose, purpose, that is the engine that separates builders from bystanders, the creators from the complainers. When a man wakes and says, this is what I will do, everything begins to arrange itself differently. His feet move with certainty. His hands become tools of creation, not idle instruments of habit. Ask yourself, have you ever seen a bricklayer begin his work without first knowing where the walls will stand? Would a farmer ever sow seeds without choosing which field, which crop, and which harvest he desires? Then why, tell me, would you let a single day pass without deciding with absolute clarity what you are building with your time, your energy, and your effort? Imagine this for a moment. Picture yourself stepping out of bed and saying aloud, today my purpose is, and you finish that sentence with something precise. Maybe it's completing a task you've delayed. Maybe it's making a new connection, learning a new skill, repairing a relationship, or laying one more brick toward a larger dream. Suddenly, the small irritations that used to disturb you, the neighbor's complaint, the slight from an acquaintance, the weather turning, all become irrelevant. Why? Because when your mind holds purpose, it no longer has space for pettiness. But here's the trap where most fall. They wait. Wait for the perfect moment. Wait for certainty. Wait until the stars align and someone else gives them permission to begin. But that day never comes. And time, that ruthless thief, keeps moving. The truth is, purpose is not found. It's chosen. It's declared. A man does not stumble upon purpose like loose change in the street. No, he grips it with both hands and says, "This is mine." So how do you do this? Each morning, while the world still sleeps, you sit quietly with yourself. You ask, what do I intend to accomplish today that moves me closer to the life I desire? And be honest, be specific. Vague wishes lead to vague results. I want to be successful is not a purpose, but I will learn this skill. I will make these 5 calls, or I will write this page. Now that is purpose in action. Imagine yourself as a craftsman in your workshop. Tools lined neatly, wood laid out before you. You don't wander aimlessly from hammer to saw. You select the right tool for the right job because you know what you are building. Life works the same. Your mind holds the tools. Purpose is the blueprint. Ask yourself, if today were your last, would you be proud of how you spent it? Would the hours you gave away to distraction, to gossip, to trivial matters, would those hours stand as worthy investments, or would they dissolve like smoke? There's only one remedy, one phrase that sharpens the mind and straightens the spine. Today, I choose definite purpose. Say it, mean it, live it. And when the sun sets, let it find you not among the drifters and the wishers, but among the builders, the men and women whose lives stand tall, brick by brick, purpose by purpose, because they chose day after day to command it so. Nothing will distract me from my goal. Stand still for a moment and think deeply. When was the last time a man or woman truly achieved something great by being easily distracted? You already know the answer. A goal is like a fire in the furnace. It burns hot, but only if it's constantly fed. Yet look around. How many people allow every little noise, every idle conversation, every passing thought to pull them away from what truly matters? One minute they are set on building a future, the next they are tangled in matters that have no business stealing their time. But not you, not anymore. Today you speak a truth aloud that becomes armor. Why does this matter so much? Because distraction is the silent thief of dreams. It does not arrive with loud footsteps. It sneaks in. A neighbor's gossip, a sudden inconvenience, an unexpected invitation that leads you down a road far from your ambitions. Left unchecked, these little diversions pile up until days become weeks and weeks become years. You must ask yourself, if a man plants a seed but walks away halfway through watering it, should he be surprised when the harvest never comes? Can a builder pause halfway through raising the walls of his home, spend his days watching passers-by, and then wonder why the roof never stands above him? Imagine yourself now, focused, truly focused. Picture this. You rise in the morning with your goal written clear in your mind. You begin your day with intention. Someone calls for idle chatter, but you politely decline. A small problem tries to pull you into worry, but you breathe, address it swiftly, and return to your mission. Suddenly, your life feels sharper. You notice the minutes you used to waste. You become aware that every small distraction is a stone stacked on top of your own delay. But here's the truth that most never realize. Distraction is not merely external. It often lives right between your ears. A wandering mind, a tendency to overthink, an urge to entertain doubt. These are the invisible shackles that bind most people. So, how does a person break free? It begins each morning with a decision, spoken aloud or burned quietly into the mind. Nothing will distract me from my goal. And throughout the day, when something tempts you off course, you pause and ask, does this serve my purpose or is it stealing my progress? If it serves you, welcome it. If it doesn't, discard it without apology. Picture a man tending to his workshop. Every tool has a purpose. Dust gathers in the corners, but he does not waste his day sweeping it when the project before him demands his hands. No, he knows what deserves his attention, the task at hand. Life is no different. Ask yourself this. If you let every minor inconvenience steal your attention today, where will you be a year from now? 5 years. But if you instead hold firm, guard your focus as if it were gold, what could you build? Who could you become? Remember, the world does not reward those who dabble. It rewards those who commit, the ones who can stand in a noisy, chaotic world and still say, my goal remains, my hands stay busy, my mind stays steady. Say it now. Say it with conviction. Nothing will distract me from my goal. Let this be the shield you carry. Let this be the line you draw in the sand between the life of wandering and the life of achievement. Because those who master focus master life. My thoughts are seeds. I will plant success. As the morning sun rises and the world slowly stirs awake, you must remind yourself of a truth so powerful, so undeniable, that it shapes the course of every life, whether one recognizes it or not. Your thoughts are seeds. And today, you will plant success. Consider the farmer. Does he walk out to the barren field and expect corn to rise where no seed has been planted? Does he stand among empty soil and demand a harvest that he never prepared for? Of course not. Even a child knows the answer. First comes the seed, then comes the harvest. But here's where most people fail. They forget that the mind operates under the same law. Every thought you hold, whether one of faith or one of fear, of victory or of doubt, is a seed. And like the earth itself, your subconscious mind does not judge what you plant. It simply receives, nourishes, and grows whatever is placed inside. So here's the question you must ask yourself each morning. What seeds am I planting today? Will they bear the fruits of success, strength, and abundance, or the weeds of frustration, worry, and failure? Imagine this. You wake up, and without realizing it, you begin whispering to yourself, "This day will be hard. I'm not ready. Something always goes wrong." Whether spoken aloud or merely entertained in the silence of your own mind, those words take root, and like weeds in a garden, they grow rapidly, choking out creativity, draining energy, and ensuring that struggle meets you at every turn. But imagine the opposite. You rise, stretch your arms, and declare, "I am capable. I am ready. Everything I need is within me. Success is already unfolding." Suddenly your posture straightens, your mind sharpens. The obstacles remain, yes, but you meet them as a man equipped for battle, not as one already defeated. Ask yourself this. If a man visits his field and chooses to plant poison, should he be surprised when nothing nourishing grows? Then why, tell me, would anyone entertain thoughts of doubt, fear, or defeat, and then wonder why success feels elusive? This is not magic. This is not mystery. This is law, as real as gravity and as unbreakable as time itself. You become what you consistently think. Your life bends in the direction of your dominant thoughts. So how do you master this? Begin each morning with a simple practice. Sit quietly, close your eyes if you wish, and consciously choose the seeds you wish to plant. Speak them aloud if you must. I am resourceful. I create solutions. My efforts are valuable. I attract the right people and the right opportunities. And throughout the day, become the watchman of your own mind. When a thought of doubt creeps in, and it will, ask yourself, is this the seed I wish to plant? If the answer is no, replace it immediately. Do not wait. Do not argue with it. Cast it out like a bad seed and plant a stronger one in its place. Picture yourself as the gardener of your mind. Each morning, you walk the rows. You remove the weeds. You check the soil. You water the ideas that serve you. Discipline, faith, persistence, courage. And you leave no space for anything less. Now ask yourself, if you do this daily, if you tend to your mind as diligently as the farmer tends to his field, where will you be 1 year from now? How rich, how full, how abundant could your harvest become? Say it now. Say it with absolute conviction. My thoughts are seeds. I will plant success. And remember, the harvest always matches the seed, always. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. As the first rays of sunlight spill through your window, there is a truth you must anchor firmly in your mind before the day begins. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. You see, life does not hand out success wrapped in velvet waiting on your doorstep. No, life delivers it, disguised, wrapped in difficulty, hidden beneath struggle, and cloaked in what most men call problems. Look around at the world. Watch closely. Some men, when faced with an obstacle, lower their heads. They groan, complain, curse their misfortune, and wonder, why me? But others, a rare few, stand taller when challenges arise. They square their shoulders, look the problem in the eye, and whisper to themselves, here is my opportunity. Here is my test. Ask yourself, which man do you choose to be? Think about the blacksmith. He does not shape iron with gentle hands. He thrusts it into fire, beats it with hammer and anvil over and over until it becomes something strong, something useful, something enduring. And you, my friend, are no different. Life's fire does not come to destroy you. It comes to forge you. Yet how often do people forget this? A delay happens and they give up. A door closes and they retreat. A criticism is spoken and their spirits crumble. They do not see that these very moments are the training ground of strength. Imagine yourself now, picture it clearly, working toward a dream. Suddenly, a setback arrives. A deal falls through. A task proves harder than expected. Someone doubts you, mocks you, or says, "You'll never succeed." What do? Do you crumble? Or do you lean in, smile slightly, and say, "Perfect. Here is the weight that will make me stronger." Because here is the truth. Growth does not happen in comfort. A tree does not become tall without the resistance of the wind. A muscle does not become strong without the strain of resistance. A man does not become powerful without the presence of challenge. Ask yourself, if life were to hand you only ease, only comfort, how sharp would your mind become? How capable would your hands be? How resilient would your spirit grow? You already know the answer. So how does one transform challenges into stepping stones? First, you change the meaning. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of thinking, "This setback means I should stop," you think, "This obstacle means I must grow stronger, smarter, more determined." The moment you shift that thinking, everything changes. Picture a man traveling down a winding road. He comes to a fallen tree blocking his path. The weak man turns back. The average man sits, waits, hopes someone clears it. But the strong man, he rolls up his sleeves, chops the tree, uses the wood to build a bridge, not just for himself, but for others who will come after him. Ask yourself, how would your life change if every difficulty became fuel instead of failure? If every no became a lesson? If every delay became a test of your patience and persistence? Where would you be a year from now? 5 years? Say this now. Say it with fire. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Let this truth become the lens through which you see the world. Let it turn burdens into blessings, setbacks into setups, and problems into possibilities. The road to greatness was never meant to be easy, but it was always meant to be worth it. I